So I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. You guys might recall where you left off and a little bit about last session. There were some bandits that were collecting taxes from a trader and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and you all came up with a plan to end the taxation, so to speak. Does anybody remember anything about the plan that you pulled off against the bandits?
I remember, didn't we get them in there and then ambush them?
Yeah, yeah. You kind of had hid behind, I think, a couple of objects. This was the map from that encounter, and the bandits came in nonchalant, expecting a regular transaction, and they were ambushed. So one of them, I think, started to escape, and you were also able to track him down. So as far as you knew, they were all
Um,
exterminated, and you were expecting that now very likely the bandits are going to be sending somebody to look for these bandits who haven't returned in a few days, and you were on that trail heading eastward, expecting at some point that you would probably see more bandits headed that way to check on these guys that are no more. They're expired. Where you left off, though, was, let's see, and I should mention that Oleg and Svetlana became this basically became an outpost for you, a place that you can take refuge and have a free stay and access to things. So this has become maybe your temporary headquarters, if you have such a thing, because you guys are migrating towards the stolen lands, trying to claim territory. But now you have at least this sort of as a base. And if I remember correctly, when you had headed out, knowing that likely they were coming back, you reached a water crossing, and let's see, was it this map? No, not this map. I have the wrong map. Where was it? There was a river crossing, or like a creek crossing, that you all camped at, and you had quite a few encounters throughout the night, and I'm just trying to find that map. Does anybody remember what happened when you guys set camp?
We had
uh,
one encounter. I don't remember what that was. And then the Lizardfolk guy came through and we watched him walk off. And then we got
mm,
into a fight with some kind of beast, right?
yes, tiger of I don't
I'm
remember
trying to remember
because
what those things were called. Thylacine? The brush
mm,
thylacine?
Yeah.
not silence, yes,
Yeah.
silence.
And then the Lizardfolk came back and helped us.
Right, yeah.
They end the session, yes.
Right. So the thylacine were killed, and that was when you had noticed, someone had noticed earlier in the evening that the lizard folk was hunting nearby. He didn't seem to notice or approach you guys, and you guys didn't approach him or anything either. And then later on, as you were fighting off the creatures, he arrived on the spot and helped take them down, or at least the last one down. I think where we stopped was that you were face to face with him, and they hadn't had a chance yet to interact. So this is where I really need to find the map. There we go. Got it. I'll move you over. Yeah. There we have the scene of the battle where you guys were encamped here on the lower right. And again, you're gonna kind of have just finished your battle, and let me show you a little bit more of what he looks like. There's what this lizard folk looks like.
What?
That is a giant lizard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
that's not
an
proportional,
alien
but yeah.
from the action.
Let's make them bigger. There you go. So it looks even more
Ah,
absurd. It looks like a Tarrasque. But yeah, that's actually what the lizard
Yes.
folk hunter looks like, as you guys basically just finished battle, and now you're looking across the river at this humanoid standing there, also looking back at you.
That looks scary.
He looks like he may live
Xenomorph.
in the bush a little bit. He definitely is a little ragged, more ragged maybe than this image, but this is definitely like a pretty standard lizard folk in Pathfinder 2 in terms of the way their bodies are. And so you've seen lizard folk before. It's not necessarily a common thing though, but you would have certainly seen them before and recognized immediately what he was. He looks across the river at you. Does anybody have the ability to know anything about, let's see, does anyone have any lore or anything like that they can use to possibly see if they know anything about both lizard folk and lizard folk in the stolen lands? If anybody wants to make an attempt, if you have a skill that sort of applies to.
I only have religion and nature.
Yeah. I have
My
warfare lore.
yeah, same here. Warfare.
Okay. I'll let you guys do the warfare lore if you'd like, and I'll let you try the nature check. I'll just adjust my DC a little
Okay.
bit and see if.
Oof.
Okay.
26.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Furbus, you would know that lizard folk are fairly common in the stolen lands, and that for the most part they have a reputation of being pretty neutral as far as across some of the different creatures that live in the stolen lands. Lizard folk are reasonable and tend to have relations with other ancestries, but you don't know necessarily anything specific about them that would make you understand what he's doing or where he comes from or where his civilization is or anything like that. But you would know that they're very skilled hunters and trackers, and that some of them have the ability to be pretty influential in terms of trade between various ancestries that wouldn't normally trade with one another, that they sometimes facilitate that. Those might be some things that Furbus would know or realize as he's staring at the lizard folk across the water. And does anybody have anything they want to do?
I have a question. I know what languages they speak.
Yeah, you would assume that he's gonna be able to speak common. Very likely, they also have a lizard folk dialect that he would speak, and you also think that it's pretty common for them to speak kobold or other humanoid languages similar to kobold or goblin or something like that. So you would know that.
Okay, I think I'm gonna say hi, friend. Thank you for the help. I'm waiting for an
Yeah,
answer.
in common.
Mhm.
And yeah, he kind of looks up and he unstrings his bow so that he can stow it on his side, and he says there'll be a lot more trouble coming. You should just hope it's some brush creatures.
There are more creatures like this in the forest.
Certainly, many of them, and with as much odor as your group makes, you will probably attract more of them this evening.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I see my companion. Maybe he can be useful for us. Maybe he can explain something about nearby on the surrounding of the fortress that we're going. I say to Recla and Dalet.
Yeah. What? The name of it was a fort, correct? It was Fort
Renko.
Further. Yeah, there you go.
Serenko. Fort Serenko. Yeah, Rekla will ask the hunter. We have been tasked with trying to bring some semblance of peace to this area, and one of the main reasons that there is so much conflict here, or so we've been told, is there's a group of bandits in Fort Serenko. Are you aware of them?
Aye, I know them well. Who has tasked you with this mission?
us in a way. We have been granted the rights to settle this land and become its protectors. And
Now it makes a lot more sense. You're one of Lady Jamondi's charters, aren't you?
yes, yes, we are working in concert with Lady Jamondi.
That's right.
And what about the others that work for Lady Jamondi? Are you working in concert with them?
Not quite. Some of them, yes. Others have different ideas.
Perhaps you remember a certain individual named Tartucio?
Yes.
Yeah,
What happened?
I do remember Tartucio. He was one of my kin, not by relation, but just by sheer chance.
Yes, quite the character, I must say. As in my limited interaction with him, he is certainly an ornery gnome. He has made some bold moves in the region, and he has actually aligned himself with the kobolds who live in soot scales, and is now calling the shots, it should seem, for their clan. And it seems as if he is interested in their territory and has now found himself in command of the kobolds not far from here. However, I think he may have overestimated himself and his new allies. As the Lizardfolk, we're indifferent to the kobolds. We do help them. We feel a lot of sympathy for them. They're mainly pitiful, and on occasion we will help them. But these kobolds have started a little regional war, and I think Tartucio has something to do with it. So
Well, I would say our relationship with Tartucio is very much like the Lizardfolk and the kobold. We feel a little pity for him. He is misguided and perhaps not the brightest of minds. So perhaps we could go instruct him in some better diplomacy.
That's good to know, because it sounds as if you'll likely be competing with him at some point for territory, and he is already seeming to lay claim to the region or parts of the region and some of the groups, although the kobolds are probably not the best clan to ally with for power, but must start somewhere, it should seem. But I must warn you that the threat that they have exposed is one that will very likely come across your path as you continue eastward. What part of what has transpired is with the Mitflits. Do any of you know of them? Have any of you heard of the Mitflits before?
The first time I've heard the name.
What is a Mitflit?
You should be used to them soon. If you spend any time here, you will be affected by them. And they have really infested part of our area. There is a 100-foot tall tree that is in the area, and it is basically just called, it's an old sycamore tree, and it has been infested and overtaken by the Mitflits, who are little gremlins. If you've not seen them, they're nasty little things, and they are malicious. They spend their days perfecting sadistic pranks and torturing animals, playing with oversized vermin.
They have some intelligence. They're not simply mindless insects.
They are rather clever. They are rather clever, and diplomacy is not their typical path. It is definitely much more of deception, and apparently they have been tormenting the soot scale kobolds, and in the territory between the old sycamore and the soot scale caves where the kobolds live, and your peer helps them. The
I'm sorry, what's the name of the cave again?
soot scale. It's
Soot scale.
one word, yeah. Soot scale.
Gotcha.
And the Mitflits actually snuck into the kobold cave recently, and they stole the soot scale's holy statue, which had really upset them, obviously. And this is something that they've done several times before. They've stolen this statue from the kobolds, causing an uproar, and typically the kobolds will allow some time to pass and go to the Mitflits to try to reclaim it. However, this time, with Tartucio in command, he ordered them to immediately retaliate against the Mitflits and to get the statue back. And this actually caused the Mitflits to become outraged, because in their custom, they expected, I think, to be followed and chased down for it, but they also didn't get a chance to gloat about it, which is very important to them. And because they really didn't have a lot of time to celebrate their taking of the statue, they were even further upset. And so the whole thing escalated, essentially, and it's caused a little bit of a war in the territory, a miniature war in the territory. And anywhere between the old sycamore and soot scale is definitely even more dangerous than the regular road ahead. And you're on the precipice of this. Once you cross this river, you're going to be in that area between.
What was the other civilization or people that was in the area that the Mitflits were terrorizing? Did you say it was halflings, or?
It just says that they torture animals, if that's good for you. And that's it. It doesn't say anything else about any other groups that they've. But they don't seem to have a boundary on that. They will poke and prod, and they'll take advantage of the kobolds because they're smarter than the kobolds and more capable than the kobolds have more numbers. But there's some kind of push and pull that goes on there between them, where they have a tendency to settle things and accept one another or tolerate one another. But Tartucio has changed the tone a little bit and caused them to now be a little bit more prone to violence and that sort of thing. It won't be uncommon for you, says Brommel. Brommel, by the way, is the name of the Lizardfolk hunter. And Brommel says to you that you will find many of their bodies strewn about, mostly kobolds. It won't be uncommon for you in the days ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the information, Brommel. It's very useful, this information.
I think that it will be important for whoever ultimately controls this region to be able to address these types of uprisings and to have relations with many of the groups that are in those regions, or else you'll have to completely eradicate them. And I think Tartucio is going to get himself in a much bigger predicament, because the Mitflits are ruthless and don't play by the rules, and the kobolds don't have the capability of matching that. And so the Lizardfolk, the kingdom of Lizardfolk that are here, are not necessarily a large contingent, and so his role is to be a little bit of a peacekeeper himself, but it's boiled over to where he can't keep the lid on it, and so he's concerned.
Let me ask you, Brommel. Let me ask you, as far as your people, your community, would you consider aiding us in our quest to bring peace to this area?
The Lizardfolk would respect anyone capable of diplomacy with a situation like this, because war will do none of us any good.
I'd like to propose that something to my party members. A plan of sorts. We could ally with Tartucio and the kobolds to take out the Mitflits in exchange for Tartucio and the kobolds helping us with the bandits.
That sounds good. Yes. Taking is the best option. Yes.
Scratch each other's back.
And perhaps we could get Tartucio under our banner. And
Like
then
that, yeah.
kobolds too. Cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Scale, right? I was looking at the map trying to find that, and I could not see it.
It's not on there. I think it's gonna be
I
pretty.
think I found it.
Let's see, where are we? It's before Fort Serenco. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna put it. Let me put you guys back on the map, and I'll just show you where I'm putting it. Let's see.
We are like 1,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
3
So
days.
yeah. So I'm gonna put it here. That box there. That's north of the thing. Oh, let me move that. Sorry.
Man, here I had it like down here. There's a giant tree in a cave there.
Yeah. Yeah. It does look like that's the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But let's see. Where is it?
Good eyes, damn it.
Let's see. Let me double check. Yeah. So I think the sycamore tree is going to be in the southern part of the hex in front of you. Just trying to get the tool working for some reason. There we go.
I'm trying to keep notes in the party journal too.
Yeah, here it is. Shit. There we go. That tree is the old sycamore tree.
Oh,
And then just south of it, there's a little mountain range that you'll see just south of it, and that's where your cave is. I'll mark that too. There's about 12 miles or so in between them. And it's not that far from the fort either. Your idea lends itself to the fact that you would have numbers in the region, and they could potentially help you with that. Yeah, so that's I guess that's the open question for you guys, how you want to handle that, if you want to address that way or a different way.
Any other plans are completely open?
The only thing I can think of is rather than going straight there, we still follow the road in case we hit more bandits, so we don't leave Oleg open to an attack.
Yeah, that's a fair
Follow.
point. We would have to break off from the fort early enough
Yeah.
that we're not seen, at least.
Also, go as close as we can before we would risk getting noticed and then break off.
yeah.
We could do a little reconnaissance on the tree as we pass by it to get to the caves too.
Yeah.
We're gonna want to talk to Tartucio first.
What do you think of, like, when you approach Tartucio, the Brommel would tell you that the kobolds may not be good to include in your plan with the Mitflits. Whatever you're going to do, the Mitflits, you may not want to take too many kobolds with you. It would be his warning that they'll give you away. They'll hold you back. They'll slow you down. Like, just they'll make mistakes. He's just don't put your hopes in their abilities. Is all his warning is what he's getting at.
Okay.
He'll give you that piece of advice if
they're more of a liability than anything.
Yeah, and
leave them behind.
And to some extent, like, you get the impression maybe that he's not that impressed by Tartucio deciding to align himself with half-wits.
Oh yeah, neither.
Yeah, right. So he's not too terribly impressed with the idea.
He's got bodies, and we need to drop some bodies. So
yeah, true. So yeah, I think you guys have any other thoughts on the approach?
I want to ask, bro, if he's knows something interesting nearby from this place, maybe something important like a strange beast or some place dangerous for us.
The road is always dangerous. Once you get off,
Yeah, that's right.
but but it has a unique set of dangers. Uh, Usually ones that you see coming and still can't do anything about. But once you get off the road, the dangers
Mhm.
become a lot more unknown, and it is definitely rugged. And not that I doubt you, but if you're new to the region, it can overwhelm you. These Mitflits are obviously a nuisance, but there are much more dangerous things about as well that may disrupt you. So there are boars, there are larger creatures than boars, and everything in between. It's best that if you do travel off-road that you're very careful and traveling slow and carefully not to draw attention to yourself. And if you're
Okay.
traveling on the road, I would travel as fast as I possibly could.
Okay. Thank you. I think that is everything.
Okay. Brommel will look to you guys to if you're done with him, he's just gonna look like he's just gonna continue to hunt around and do his thing.
I will ask, should we be lucky to survive our future encounters and want to reach out offering of friendship and trade to your community, how would we find you?
I will be I will be constantly moving. I don't know that I would be found unless I had a reason to stay. But if I knew that your group would come to power, I might be inclined to stay. And if I stayed, it would be close to this region, not far from the old sycamore if we were able to rid it from its infestation. I don't have a large contingent of other lizard folk that I know in the area, but there are dozens of us that I think would respect you and work with you if you were able to accomplish this. I would spread word in your favor to them and to other ancestries that we are aligned with.
Excellent.
Okay.
I would say give us, well, guys, how long do you think? A month? A month to
Yeah.
clear out the tree?
Maybe yes.
Click on the tree in a month. If it's still infested, then we've failed.
Well, I wish you the best, and I will hunt these lands in this territory and keep an eye out for you as best I can from afar, and I'm sure we will cross paths again one way or another.
As we have a lizard friend.
Yeah. Good Brommel hunting.
Yeah, so he'll actually take one of the bodies of the I keep forgetting the Thylacine with him, and it just looks like he's gonna make use of it somehow. So he just throws that over his shoulder and very casually walks away into the darkness. Although it's starting to get light out, he walks off into the darkness of the woods near you, and with that, he's gone. So with that, you guys are at the camp. I think we actually got through a couple watches, and we were mostly at the point where everybody had gone through their watch. I think this occurred on the last watch or second to last watch, so we'll just hand wave this to the morning. And so if anybody's got any preparations that they were going to complete, you can go ahead and do that spell-wise and otherwise.
And a
And
medicine check myself.
okay.
Do a 15.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Never mind.
Yikes.
Do that again in an hour.
I can give you a medicine check.
Appreciate it.
they want to make one for me. I have something special for this moment. Let me see something. Because we are in a forest in the wild, and I have something for that. Natural medicine.
There we go.
I can use
Nice.
nature instead of medicine to treat wounds, and if you are in the wilderness, you might have easier access to freezing rain, allowing you to gain a +2 circumstance bonus to your check to treat wounds.
Perfect.
I'm gonna use that for me first. Let me see nature.
Yeah, that's really
Uh,
cool.
and I'm gonna use hero points. For one,
Oh
why?
no.
Let's see.
Oh, rough.
That's better.
Actually,
That
that
is a
hits it,
success.
right? Because with the +2 hits it. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that is a success for
All
the first
right.
one.
So
So,
you're down a hero point, but you did get your heal done. So yeah, you get your 9 back.
Cool. Pretty sure
okay.
it's
So, someone needs some medicine, my friends.
I'm good now with those 2 checks.
Rekla is needing health. He's
Okay.
gonna try on himself first. There we go.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you need
So
more?
I'm only down by 3 now.
I'll give you a
okay.
little bit.
I'm
See if I
gonna
can
make
fit that.
one
Oh, nice.
for little Josh. Oh.
Only you
I'm
can get
gonna
2 of those extras.
I'm gonna cast. Oh, I have something special for this moment. I have this also. Better medicine.
Yeah.
This is one action, and I can use something near to treat wounds, and I don't need to wait for 1 hour for the medicine check. So, but this is with medicine, not with nature. So I need to use that from my ship. That's better. Well, for little Josh. Okay,
All
we
right.
are better now.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody's patched up quite a bit. So it would be bright and early in the morning, and you guys, it sounds like everybody spent a little bit of time doing a little extra healing together, and your road is ahead, and I'll leave it to you guys to decide what order you want to go in and how you want to proceed from here.
I guess I'll take point this time.
Okay, you're the front man. Let me move you over here. I'll put you there, and I guess if you guys want to line up behind him in the order you're going to travel, we can do it that way.
By the way, remember when you rest, you regain hit points equal to your level per your con
Con mod.
modifier.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so everybody
So
should
that is a
have that little.
+6 for me
Yeah.
and a +4 for Little Joe, so he's at full hit points.
All right.
Yeah, we were on a cart.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, and actually I
Oh,
have
yeah.
Ben Warden's just
Ben
still
Warden there.
sleeping like
He's
a
on-
bump on a log.
I like how he's sitting on the log. That looks great. Looks really good. But yeah, he's not here. Move him there. Okay. So it looks like Dalit in front, and the rest of you are on the cart behind him, I assume. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ah,
And you get to the water, and you can traverse this with your cart pretty easily. If you guys would do a group check for, I think we'll just use athletics.
athletics?
Yeah, so if somebody wants to lead it, oh, there we go. Dalit's got you. Dalit's showing you guys the way across, and you're able to follow the right way quickly from what he's finding and how he's able to pull himself out pretty easily, just crossing with the horse. You get everybody across, including your cart, your horses, everything like that, and you
Okay.
pick up from there on the road. All right, so you guys head down the road, and we're gonna do a weather roll. I'm gonna see what the weather is like here today, and we'll take a look at some other things that happen. 1 second.
There was a game years and years ago that I played called Hackmaster, where you had to pick your hand, and that's what this is reminding right now. Which hand you were dominant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It got real complicated real fast.
I played Hackmaster, believe it or not.
Right.
I've played some Hackmaster. I still have like a couple characters that I played in Hackmaster with. That was a really cool game, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know that I've heard or thought about Hackmaster in a very long time.
I always think about it when I hear about like archaic rules and just overcomplicating things.
Yeah, that's what it was really good for. It was like
Oh yeah.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with another layer of rules on it, you know.
Yep.
But all right, so you guys all make it, and you've finished crossing the river, and you're just back on the open roadway. And at this point, the weather is actually getting pretty windy. It is going to be blowing in the north. It's going to be blowing north, so it's just straight north right now that the wind is gusting. It's pretty uncomfortable to travel in. It's definitely smacking you in the side as you're walking. It's constant, and after a while, as you guys are traveling, this is pretty much like plains. It's wooded somewhat, and there's a lot of brush in areas, but it's largely a plains type of area. So you can see pretty far at certain points during the day, but as you travel on and you get more into the afternoon and the windstorm is picking up a little bit, you start to lose some of your visibility. It's looking pretty hazy up ahead. Not like a sandstorm or anything, but it's just gloomy and difficult to see. You don't have the same kind of distance and vista that you had on the prior day. So you guys continue to make your way in that direction, throughout the wind and everything else. And as you're traveling, you look ahead, Dalit, and at this point it is early afternoon, and you've been on the road for several hours. You look ahead, and two humanoids on horseback approaching from the opposite direction, coming towards you, and they're a couple hundred yards away at first, and so obviously you've got your eyes trained on them. You're walking straight towards them, and as you're getting maybe within 200 feet or so, you're starting to get a weird feeling that they may be bandits, and it starts to register that even looks like one of them from this distance might even be wearing one of those stag amulets. It looks like it's hanging out on him. So that's where your gut feeling is with that kind of distance. And you would be the one, if you can make a perception roll, I can give you some other info. Yeah, so you can definitely see that they're armed with crossbows. Both of them look like they're carrying some type of crossbow, and that they have some bladed weapon as well. So that would be obvious, and it's just the two of them. It doesn't look like they have any cargo or any other group with them.
And they're on horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the best thing we can do is step aside our carriage, our horses, or no put in danger our horses, and prepare some ambush maybe for them.
I'm not sure we could ambush them on a plane.
That's right.
Like, just to start riding toward them.
Yeah.
Because do you guys have long range spells? I don't quite remember.
Yes, I have one. I don't know regularly.
Because I can try to get them in your range on horseback.
I have the Ray of Frost that has 120 feet of range.
Yeah, we really need to turn the cart into a death trap for bandits.
That's good.
Like a bunch of flip down portals where all the crossbows fire and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just my short bow against their crossbows.
Like a Gatling gun a crossbow, something like that.
Pretty sure I've seen that in a kung fu movie somewhere.
If not, that has to be done. Someone has to do that.
I do have a hand crossbow. Actually, I have a
most of you probably picked up
too,
crossbows.
But I just don't ever use it.
Because the Black Tears had them when you were dealing with the Black Tears. Pretty much every one of them had.
Yeah, they all had crossbows. I'm wishing that we had kept them to outfit our ambush wagon.
That's true. That's a good point.
Not a bad idea to get some weapons just to store in the wagon.
Let's take these guys' weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll start with these. We'll start with these guys.
Right now.
Yeah, I can start loading my crossbows at least.
Yeah,
And
we can also try to. We don't know if they're gonna do anything. We try to get into range before we do anything.
Sure, but I want to have my crossbows loaded so that
Yeah,
they're ready when you're in range.
take an action, fiddle with the cart. Sorry, fiddle with the cart.
All right. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Are you gonna just wait and continue down the road and see just how it plays out when you run into them? Or are you gonna do anything different?
Probably say hi to make them pause, but let them get close first, and hope they haven't loaded their crossbows.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So as you guys start to close the distance a little bit, let me change the map for us and put you over there.
It's time for a fight.
Here.
I will take out my bow so it's easily accessible to me.
All right. I think I've got it laid out now. So you guys should see the two bandits up ahead, and you've got yourselves, I think, arranged pretty much how you're going to be arranged. I assume, Dalit, you're just a little bit ahead of them.
No.
Okay. And you've got your bow out. Reckless got his crossbow loaded. Furbus, anything that you're doing in preparation?
For the moment, not.
Okay.
But I can, when I see something like they are attacking us, I want to make the Ray of Frost. But that is in combat.
Okay.
Guys, I just remembered. In
What?
the party loot, we have 7 silver stag lord amulets.
We could have made ourselves look like Stag Lord.
Still can.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I guess we could just be like, hey, we're trying to keep it down low.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll circle back and grab one just in case.
What are you going to do with it? What are you going to actually do with it, though?
That's a good question.
Maybe try to disguise or like.
I will grab one. I'll put my bow away, actually, and grab one and probably try to flash it like a badge.
Okay. All right. Okay. And is anyone else doing anything with the amulets or anything else?
I think Rekla will have his. I think he's all right with wearing it. I think he'll just toss it around his neck.
I think the druids cannot use anything made from metal, so I can put. I think I can take it in my hand, but I cannot use it like an amulet.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you can't really wear metal, but you can certainly hold it. So that's a fair point. That it would be anathema for the druid to wear it. Though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. You continue down the road, and the distance starts to close. You see the two bandits getting closer. As they do, you can see that there's a man and a woman. They are dressed very similarly to the bandits that arrived at Oleg's trading post, to the point that it's not necessarily a uniform, but it's a dead giveaway. It looks pretty obvious, right? And as you guys close in, maybe you start to see the man who's riding in the front is eyeballing you as you get closer. Dalit, he would see the amulet if you're displaying that, which I assume you are, right?
Yeah.
And he will pull up, and as he does that and he sees you, the woman behind him also pulls up and stops, and he says, "What news of the West?"
Wasn't expecting that. The taxes are grabbed. Stopped at that trading post. Roughed up the owners, and we got the money. Where are you guys headed?
I love it. Oh, you're talking. You collected the taxation for the Stag Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. I think they are awaiting you. They are awaiting you to deliver it. I assume you have it on your person, and it was full payment.
And a little more. It's all in the cart.
Then I think that the Stag Lord shall be quite pleased with this. Any other notable pitiful folk on your travel?
We saw a lizard folk or two. Not a big deal. What are you guys up to? You guys going anywhere to do some stuff?
So make a. I think we're gonna need to have you make a check.
Yeah.
If you have, let's see. I don't.
The deception.
Yeah, it's really more of a deception. Yeah, I think than anything, unless you have another skill that you can think of. Oh, that is
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah. So these guys, I think your quick turnabout of telling them what you did and then quickly asking them a question just has them totally just deceived. They are just like, hey, he's asking about our tasks. He cares about the mission. And they just let their guard down and they're like leaning back now. They don't look at all like they're cautious about you. And he starts to say, of course they sent us to double check on you. But also there have been some of the kobolds laying about, and we've been kicking them, cleaning them off of the road so that we can get through with our carts.
What I hear about a tree? Didn't you hear something about a tree being weird?
Oh, the tree! Of course. Yeah, that old tree seems like it's become a point of contention between these little goblins.
You should go check that out while we go back to the fort.
One day maybe. Negative for now. We have some other tasks abound, some other taxes to collect. But at some point, maybe the Stag Lord will want to take over their lair, so we can expand out of the tower. But for now, I think he sees them and their pranks as helping to keep everyone else in the region occupied and distracted from our continuing growth.
They can't stop us now.
You could absolutely ride that 20 that Dalit rolled there. But yeah, they're at this point, they're like just, again, let their guard down and seem to accept you as being affiliated, although maybe they haven't raised the question as to why you don't look exactly like them or anything like that, or why they haven't seen you before. Those sorts of questions might be in their minds, but for
we'll
now.
let you get back to your task or your collections. We have to get this back to the tower.
I think that Dalit is the one that has them wrapped around his finger, and because he's human, it's plausible for them to listen to him or to accept him as one of their own, but they might be a little bit more suspicious of the gnome throwing his weight around, because that's, from what you could tell, there's not too many gnomes in the bandit club.
Sure.
I'll be honest, I was planning to attack them next.
I'm just trying to get you backstabbed.
Yeah, it seems likely at this point that they will eventually turn their back on you and ride off.
See, I was trying to stay honorable and attack them from the front.
Well, you could do that too. You could do that too. They're still parlaying with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Tell you what, guys. I'll tell you about the secret mission the Stag Lord gave. He told us that we had to secure these lands and clear out all of the bandits. And while they're still processing that, I'm just going to start combat and take out my sword.
Time for battle.
Trying to catch them flat-footed here.
Let's do it. All right, let's do it and see if you can catch them flat-footed. Let me clear the turn order and add you guys back in. Yosh is in there.
There we go.
Yeah, you can click and roll initiative.
Initiative. Oof.
Oh.
Oh, mama.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Boy.
You were just ready for things to pop off, weren't you?
He wasn't about to let Dalit get the first shot.
So cool.
Sorry, my God.
Awesome. All right, so let me sort you guys in the right order then. And all right, I assume you guys know what's going on. Purpose, you'll actually be the first if you want to act first. You're up.
Okay. I see how Dalet take his sword for attack this bandit, and I say, it's time for some primal magic, and I take this guy with my rifles.
Right.
So let's see. 15?
Yes, that is a hit with the flat-footed.
Ay, sorry. Ay,
Yeah, and they are
I was
flat-footed to
falling
you
for
this
I
round,
myself.
both of them.
Okay. For my third action, I'm gonna give a command for villagers to take
Okay.
of the carriage and follow Dale.
Got it.
And that's everything for the moment.
All right. Very good. Dalit.
I'm assuming my sword is out. So I started combat by doing that. So I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna do a feat first here. I'm gonna do combat grab. Try to hit him and grab him at the same time.
And bear in mind, this is from horseback to horseback. Some of this battle is taking place.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know.
Grabbing from horses. Huh. Okay.
But it's fine. You can absolutely still do that. It's just just letting you know.
Does that hit?
No, just misses. You need a 16 to hit them, and they are flat-footed still.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you and you guys both still have hero points left as well, so you know. But anything else for Dalit?
I'll take one more attack, not a snagging strike or a combat grab.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
It's that's critical.
Yeah.
Let me just have you roll a 10-sided die. And don't roll a 1. Okay.
Good advice.
Yeah, so I think you almost drop your sword on the attack. You're able to regrip it. However, your hand kind of has turned on the sword a little bit, so you don't have your preferred grip on it, but you did not drop it. So your next attack, unless you take an action to regrip it the right way, you'll have a -1 to your attack roll. But otherwise, that's it.
Okay.
You're good. And Reckless up.
Rekla does he have, is it possible to have line of sight with a crossbow where he is? Probably not through 2 party members.
Really, it's only Dalit because,
Yeah.
and he's on a horse. Yeah,
Okay.
you can shoot through your
All right.
allies. Yeah.
First action will be to fire the crossbow then.
Okay.
You get a critical failure.
Ugh. No, just a really
Just a miss.
poor shot.
Just a regular failure.
Useless at range. Gonna have to move.
You're an inside fighter.
Alright, with the next, what's the, for getting out of the cart, is that a negative to my movement?
If you make a athletics check or an acrobatics check and you pass it, then I'm not going to have it affect your movement. But if you fail it, it will be a whole action to get out of the cart. So yeah, it's going to be an action.
I'm trained in athletics.
Yeah, so it's going to take an action to get out of the cart. Maybe it's just because you got all this taxes in the way.
I had to drop the crossbow. All right, I can get to right there. That's my last action.
Okay. All right. So at this point, the bandits are reeling from the ruse, and they begin to reach for their weapons. So the first bandit reaches down and grabs his sword from his side with his right hand, pulls it out with his action, and then turns, steps this way, and with his third action does a swipe towards Dalit with his sword. Let's see. What is he? Let me double check.
Oh, yeah. No, he didn't leave my range.
Yeah, he stayed in there. He stepped 1. So 1 second.
I think that applies.
There we go. I don't know why he doesn't have his... Oh, I'm using the wrong bandit. Here we go.
That's true, actually. Well, I didn't call it out.
Oops.
I'll keep that in mind for the future.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that hits.
The good news, it was the lowest damage he could do.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's still flustered. He managed to connect, but didn't do a whole lot. Scraped you maybe on the arm as he's trying to get you.
Flash wound.
Yeah, not much. And that's it for the male bandit. The female bandit, she similarly draws her sword as well and follows him in that direction, steps forward as well. So here she's getting a single attack on you. And all right. All right, yeah, first round of combat is complete. We're back to the top of the order. Furbus.
Okay. My first action is going to be give a command for Little Josh. Oh, Little Josh! Attack this bandit! It's like, for not provoke any opportunity attack, I'm gonna make like this because Little Josh has 35 feet movement. Oh, yeah. And Jaws attack against this bandit. 16.
That's a hit. All right. All right. That is a good solid hit.
Man, Carlos, I'm gonna have to get you to get a saddle for little Yos so Rekla can ride on. That's where I want to be.
Oh man, that sounds like a great side quest to somebody make a saddle for the bear that the gnome can ride. I think that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's very good.
Well, I assume little Yosh probably, because this guy's on his horse, maybe he reached up and was able to bite his leg and pull at him that way. So he did a significant chunk of damage and took a chunk out of the guy's leg. He's gushing blood all over the side of his horse now after this. So is there anything else that you've got?
Yes, that was my first action. So for my 2 and 3rd action, I'm gonna cast Rider Frost again.
All right.
Again, the same guy. That is a 12. That doesn't hit.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Little Josh. Okay.
All right. That means Dalit's back up.
I'm currently flanking with little Yosh, right?
You are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
perfect.
call.
Then I will attack the guy in between us. As soon as I can find my mouse. All right, there we go. You know what? I'm going to do that snagging or the combat grab again. Yeah.
Okay.
See if I can get a little more of a bonus for that.
Ooh, my goodness.
Don't think he'll survive to be grabbed, though.
Nope. Nope. So the pierce of your dueling sword. If you want to tell us, how does Dalit finish off this bandit?
I think I'll go with the straight stab into him and try to grab at the same time, but the hand misses because he just gets pushed back.
Yeah, so he just slumps. Yeah,
exactly.
Perfect.
Just grab air.
Right towards the raging bear.
Right to the jaw.
The bloodthirsty bear.
All right. And then I think I'll just make another attack on this one.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's another hit. Right on.
Yeah, and then rather than risk a 3rd attack, I'm just going to slink over here.
Okay.
That'll be my last action.
Got it. All right.
Just try to clear a path for everybody else. Jason.
Okay, Rekla.
All right. Guess Rekla will. All right, he's gonna move right up in front of her and try to chill touch. Doesn't have an attack on it. Let me do an attack.
Is chill touch actually an attack?
But they say it's like you need to touch them, but it's a saving throw for the enemy.
Yeah, I think they just have a saving throw because you just have to get in range, and I think you're right there. They'll do a basic save or attempt one. So I guess
it's a basic fortitude DC 18.
Mm-hmm.
Fortitude.
And the damage is a 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Oh, here we go.
I think
Okay.
it's a 1d4 plus.
Oh,
So they saved right on.
yeah.
So it's the half, or what you get 3 points of damage.
Got it.
Oh, if they critically fail, you do critical damage. Got it.
Okay. So yeah, you did half damage. Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know what? Just for, oh, that's a
It's
2
like-
action. That was,
I like how you have
Yeah.
a theme to your spell attacks of Ray of Frost and Chill Touch. It's just interesting that you guys are that coordinated. All right,
So I guess get a
so
rune of cold damage on my sword or something.
yeah, we'll get the icebreakers.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how that sounds.
I think then that it is back to the bandit, the remaining bandit. She is assessing the situation. She does not look too confident to continue. She screams out that traitors will be hung, and she turns to vacate. So she starts to turn around and head that way.
I'm going to take an attack of opportunity
All right.
when
I
she leaves my square.
thought you might.
All right.
Oh, that. Let's see, where's. Yeah, that will do it. That is exactly what you needed to finish the second bandit. So, how's this one happen?
Since she's going away, I'll just slash her in the side and expose some red meat there.
Yeah. Yeah, so she'll just slump over similar to the other bandit right off the horse. So now you're standing amongst 2 bandit horses and 2 bandit corpses on the trail or on the path, and there doesn't seem to be any other further threat. So you have executed your plan nicely.
Excellent.
I guess we'll set the horses free.
I was
Oh,
wondering, do they have brands? Because we could keep them.
Let's see. Let me give it I'll give it a dice roll to see if they do. Let's say that there's a 50-50 chance. So if I roll less than 50, it is not branded, and if it's more than 50, it is branded. Let's do that. Okay, it's definitely branded. It's definitely
Yeah,
branded.
yeah.
There's really nice branding on it. It's high quality. It's artistic.
Somebody very skilled.
Yeah.
It's like on the side of the horse.
So adds to, or you know, it or not. I don't know, but that's another way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess just let them go.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll desaddle them and everything. Get
Yeah.
them all.
Check the bodies, steal their amulets,
Yeah. All right.
and their
So
crossbows.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you guys can you can definitely do that. You'll have 2 long swords, 2 crossbows, 2 sets of studded leather armor. You've let the 2 horses go. You also notice that it looks like they may have already collected some taxes from somebody.
Oh.
And you actually find a couple different bags of coins on them. And one of them is, let's see, you have 6 gold, 14 silver, and 85 copper you recover from them. And that's
I'm sorry, how much silver?
14,
And how much copper?
85. All right, I think we'll take our mid-session break here, and if there's anything else you guys wanted to do with them or their stuff or anything, we could talk about that after the break, and then we'll pick up on the next section. So maybe take 10 minutes. You guys cool with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right,
Excellent.
see you in a minute.